this is so we're gonna have a lot of difficulty trying to do this exactly in training
Mhm.
because we would have to set it up broken, which is really difficult.
Mhm.
Um, so the only thing we can really do is kind of talk is we can just walk through like pretending to say if this is a scenario. So
Okay.
the case that we're looking at is we have an old SSVF record. They were entered and exited in 2016, but we're trying to go back in and edit entry information. For example, 3917. I know the dates aren't exactly going to be falling in this current upload, and so it sounds like people are trying to re-enter the enrollments to go through the edit enrollment workflow, and then they're getting this message. Is that correct? Enrollment was exited more than 90 days ago, cannot be re-entered.
Correct.
Okay. So if you're trying to get to 3917, you can actually get to that outside of the review entry or outside of the edit enrollment workflow. So you can get right back to your universal data assessment. I just wanted to show you the possibility first. Let me talk you through it. So if you click the blue circle next to the enrollment, you'll see that action menu open up. If there was a missed annual update, you can add that back. You could go back in and review exit assessments, but the one for 3917 is going to be under review entry. And we know it's under the universal data elements, or universal data assessment. So I click the pencil and pad icon, and here I am on their entry assessment. So this is not, don't use this to update information. This is, you're overwriting everything at entry. So if there were two COCs that this project served, you're changing the entry assessment. You're not creating a new record for anything. So if I realize, oh, this person wasn't in foster care, I realize that's a problem, I can go back in, make my adjustments to 3917, and I just changed my entry assessment. Is that was that the full case that we're looking at, or are there additional issues?
No, I think that's the best way. So real time, does it capture whatever changes that you made just then with editing the entry assessment? Is it reflected on the SSVF report real time?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Well, that was all for that one because we had several people state that if it was over 90 days and they didn't have the ability to make any edits to the entry information.
Yeah, so they shouldn't have to re-enter the case in order to, or reopen the enrollment in order to edit anything. Mm-hmm. You can also go over here to the individual assessments, and you can edit this directly here. This way is a little bit harder. As they have multiple enrollments and you're seeing multiple assessments, it can get a little bit more difficult to find the right one.
Gotcha.
You just see that up here.
So it's a lot simpler by just clicking the blue button and reviewing entry assessment.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion, at least. I mean, I think that's the fewest clicks.
Okay.
Another case was, let's see, there are multiple, so we have a couple of different ones. Multiple persons in the family account marked as self, and then multiple people in the case marked as self. Mm-hmm. So just as a reminder, two different things. This family account up here is not the same as not the same thing as who's enrolled in your projects. A typical example is two adult household with children, so maybe a male and female adult. They go into try to get shelter. At the agency, there's only a men-only side and a women and children-only side. So each adult would have different enrollment cases down here. And for the male adult who went in, he would be self on his shelter enrollment, and then the female adults with the children, the female adult would be self on her enrollment. So but really they're one household, and they're going to be seen together as a household other places. So that's why we keep it separate. If we're just trying to change what it is up here, we can just click household members and make adjustments here. So if there are multiple people that are marked as self here, so let's pretend it's hard to create this brand new. So if you have multiple people as self here, you would just make the change and click save, and that should take care of it on the family account. So that'll definitely take care of it moving forward. For the enrollment case specifically, if you go to view case members, you'll see the relationship specific to the enrollment case. So what you see here does not have to equal what's up here in the family account. But to change it, if we go to edit the enrollment, you can make the adjustment here. So that's where you can go in and edit their relationship to head of household for the actual enrollment.
Okay, we had some people say that when they went to the enrollments page, that the reason why they weren't able to the enrollment case members, that it was shaded, and maybe they were referring to the screen that you were on before.
This one?
No. So prior to this one, you did the one where you would update the information from what happens up top, where you can see the family members up top. How you resolve that issue. So yes, this page right here.
Okay.
When I've seen situations where they're saying that they're unable to make edits, these the two existing clients that were migrated from the previous system, this area would be shaded. The two people's records are shaded. And so it's got both records checked, and you don't have the ability to uncheck anything from that page.
So correct. So you can't uncheck anything from this one.
Mm-hmm.
But you would still make the adjustments.
It would allow you to make those changes there. Okay.
Yes. So now it's a dependent child. We have seen where there's a little bit of a delay.
Okay.
And so just to get the entity to refresh.
If the household up top is saying self for everybody, including children, and you can see that it's an issue with everybody, when you look at the case members from the enrollments, you can see that all of those people are selected as self within the household as well. Which one should we address first that won't give us an error? Is there a certain...
Your most important one for reporting is going to be through the case members.
Okay.
So the report, like when you're doing your SSV export, it won't look at these.
Okay.
It'll look at these.
Okay.
It would look under the case members.
Okay. Because the reason why I was asking is because I can't remember which order I did. I tried to make the correction, if it was through household members, changing the status of the clients there, or if it was through the actual case member enrollments. But when I made the changes and I clicked save, it said there's already another person listed as self or something along those lines. And so
you may have to. So it sounds like are you changing who's the primary client, or you are changing who's self, or because it should let you move away from.
Well, how it was, the household was circumvented. So the child, who was 18 months old, was listed as self, and the mother, who was 36, was listed as daughter or something like that. And so I was I needed to actually switch it and make the adult.
So it was switching around?
Yes, and so when I made the change, it said somebody else was already listed as self, like the child was already listed as self.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was asking.
And typically in those cases you would want to let's see, I'm trying to remember, because I would say try to remove it, remove the child from self and then put the adult in as self.
Right, and that's what I actually
I'm
ended
trying to
up
remember all
doing.
the form rules. Yeah.
I actually made the child son and left the mom as daughter and saved it, and then I went back in and changed the mom from daughter to self, and it allowed me to go through, and it allowed me to save it as it was. But I just didn't know
the rule is that you can only have one head of household when you're trying to edit, when you're trying to make edits, but it doesn't necessarily go the other way.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's the correct way.
Okay.
One more instance. So we discussed duplicate family members. As we said before, the ones that have been reported where you're only seeing each client once here, but when you go in, wait for it, here, you'll see multiple people. So that was something that's not editable. I mean, there's nothing that anyone could do. The cases we know about should be dealt with. So if there are more cases where they're only showing up once under view case members, but multiple times on that screen where you're going to add residential move-in date, please report those up right away, because that would be a different case than what we fixed. However, there still may be some where you have duplicate people in here. So if they have, and typically we saw that when there were different project entry dates, different enroll dates for the same client, there's not really a way of knowing which one's correct.
Gotcha.
At a system level. So it takes someone that knows, like, oh, out of the three enrollments, this one's correct.
Okay.
And to delete it, so let's pretend this is actually the same person. To delete it, you just click delete.
Okay.
And it's a soft delete. So if you realize, whoops, you can always go back. If you catch the bubble in time, you can click undo. If not, you can go back here and restore it, and also gives you a little bit of a log on it.
Gotcha. And so when you say they've been fixed, was it just individual ones where it had duplicate records that were fixed, or was it a script that was run to look for those to address it?
It was a script to update update a table.
Okay.
And it was based off a query that we found that was causing the issue.
Okay.
Or not, the query wasn't causing the issue, but finding the ones where the issue, the scenario we knew about, we resolved those.
Okay. All right. I think that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.